Hello, and welcome to the House Files, a podcast about building a triplex in Portland, Oregon.
Which primarily exists to talk you out of doing it.
I think today it will effectively talk you out of it.
Okay.
I think I start almost every episode like that.
Yeah.
But, so this episode is the chronicle of having a breakdown over this bathroom layout, which, if you go back in time, almost like a year and a half ago, we were like, we've figured out the bathroom, and like had picked out, kind of roughly picked stuff out. It turns out the roughly having picked things out was a problem.
Well, it was a number of problems. So like the the whole concept of this bathroom was
Half-baked.
Lily needs a bathtub. That was the concept, right?
Well, yeah, we need like a regular bathroom.
Bathtub.
No, we need a regular bathroom, and then I also need a bathtub.
Yes. Okay. So
Because if the whole concept was just I get a bathtub and nothing else needs to happen, everything would have been
that's
fine.
true. So bathtub, shower, toilet, vanity. Like that's what goes into the bathroom. And this room has been designed for ages, like the rough layout of it, right? We had like the bathtub there, corner shower, toilet, vanity. And on the plans, that's what it looks like. Looked like everything, there was room for everything.
It looked tight, just to be clear.
It was not a big bathroom, but everything did look like it fit.
This was based on the standards for how much room you need around things. So there's like a standard
width for a toilet 30 inches.
And like
showers are usually a certain size, roughly.
And one of the things that had been done is that we had designed a corner shower to go in here, which is essentially gave us a little more space because of the angle of the door opening.
Right.
We didn't need clearance on all sides.
Yeah, so it meant that the tub could go right up to the shower, the toilet could share a wall with the shower, and then we would access it from the corner. And that's what was on the plans. It looked like there was room for everything, and everything's fine. So
meanwhile, Aaron changes a bunch of stuff so that he can get more shelves in here.
that is not the problem here.
I just said meanwhile. I didn't say it was the problem. But I will say, Aaron has changed things in the walls several times.
Okay, so there are shelves in here. They have nothing to do with the layout of the room because that wall exists. But now we get shelves accessed from this side instead of only from the laundry room side, which is great.
It was a good solution.
But I did change something that wasn't really the cause of all this, but definitely set things in motion. And that is this wall. So this wall, we were talking about doing a shower niche and also a little ledge for the bathtub. And I started looking around, like, how can we do a shower, a niche in the shower and a ledge for the bathtub in a way that makes sense, that doesn't look weird, or we don't lose floor space and things like that. And this wall is, on the other side, there are cabinets now for the wet bar. Like, that is not moving. That wall cannot move anymore. And we also can't really go into the wall because of all the wiring and studs and things like that. So I was like, well...
There's also a bookcase behind this wall that's already been installed.
So that one also can't move.
Because I did, at one point, before those bookcases went in, I went, should we really try to get a little more room out of the bathroom and move that wall? Yeah. And everyone was like, it's all going to fit.
It's all going to fit, yeah.
Which it did not.
So it really started when I was thinking about the ledge for the bathtub, because the bathtub is a freestanding bathtub, not built in. Like, there's no ledge around it because it's built in. So I was like, well, if we have a ledge, what do we do above the ledge? That's just like empty wall, and I don't really like the look of just a ledge. And then this all came together in my head, which was, what if it's all one thing? What if it's the ledge for the bathtub that goes up and turns into the shower niche? And I was like, well, we can build a wall inside of this wall to do that, because if we're building a ledge for the bathtub, that's already like a little wall. So if we just build the wall all the way up, then we get both. So that's what this is. This is a new wall inside of the bathroom that is going to get tiled over, and it will make the shower niche and the bathtub ledge. So before they built that, they were in here measuring stuff because they were like, wanted to double check the measurements for everything. And they were in here measuring the distance from here for the shower to make sure there's 30 inches for the toilet over here. And that's where things didn't really work anymore. And I'm just going to point out again, it's not because we added the wall, because the measurements didn't work without the wall either, which is just how it happens. I guess it just got built a little bit different than what the drawings had. And we really did need every single inch that were on those drawings.
We really have learned that walls, when you're starting from the ground up with a build, the walls move. And
Yeah.
best laid plans do not equal what ends up being built.
Yeah, you really have to triple check every single wall that goes up, because it is not guaranteed to be in the right spot, in the same spot that it was drawn on the plans by any means.
And it turns out we lost like, I don't even know. It wasn't even that many inches. It was like...
It was just like I think it's like 3 inches shorter or something, which doesn't sound like much, but when your plan is a shower and then 30 inches for a toilet, 3 inches less in the shower is not much.
And there's
a
also,
small shower.
yeah, there's also like comfort levels, but there are also regulatory levels that we have to have. So there is a requirement of how much room we have around the toilet and everything with the new build construction.
So the crew called me up here and they were like, so this is getting really tight. This isn't really going to fit anymore. Like, if we did this shower, it's going to come to here. The toilet's going to be there. Like, it's really tight. Can we move things around? Like, what if we move things around to... First of all, they were like, do you really need a tub? And I was like, that is the one thing that we cannot remove.
I appreciate that Aaron said this. For a little bit of context on this, I have not had a bathtub in 8 years, and for maybe a normal adult, this would not be a big deal. I really like baths, and our last apartment that we lived in, when we moved in, I said, oh, there's only 2 things I want: good bike parking and a bathtub. And I got neither of those.
Yeah. And then we got stuck there for like 7 years.
Yeah, and then we lived there for 7 years. And then in our current place, in the little loft that we live in, there's also no bathtub.
Yeah.
And...
Yeah, I was like, that is the one thing we're not gonna get rid of to make room here. Like, if anything, we can maybe talk about getting rid of the shower. Right.
I appreciate that Aaron was willing to. Well, I will also say that my mom was like, whatever it is, you have to have the bathtub.
Yeah. Okay, we're going through options of like, what can we do to fix this? One option is no shower, no separate shower, and you do like the bathtub is the shower, and you do the little curtain around it, and like, I really don't like those.
They're not super fun. I mean, the one thing is they're a little less annoying if you do like a built-in bathtub, like one of the bathtubs. You still have to step over a wall though, although there's some ones that are like marketed towards older adults that have a little door in them and stuff. And I really liked the aesthetic preferences of a freestanding tub, and that would have been a thing I was willing to compromise on, but the problem is that we also don't like the experience of having to do the like step over into the bathtub thing. A lot of people do it. I did it growing up, all of ours, because we lived in older houses that had that. But
so that was one option. I was like, we can probably make it work. So the trick is that one of the problems is that all the drywall's up now, except for we're looking at bare walls, but that's because these are tile walls. So these didn't get drywalled because they get the tile backer first. But all the other walls are drywalled, and underneath here is the other unit, which is in the process of getting painted.
Yeah.
So that ceiling is like
done,
right? So we can't touch that. And all of the pipes for the fixtures in the bathroom are, of course, under the floor. So the shower drain was already in one spot. The toilet drain's over here. The plumbing for the toilet's back there. The power for the toilet's back there. We have the bathtub drain over there. And they were like, well, we could tear up the floor and kind of just redo it from the top down. And I was like, okay, well, if that's an option, because I didn't think that was an option, but they did not seem fazed by it. And I was like, if that's an option, we can just kind of start from scratch here and talk about lots of different layout options.
Weirdly, it became closer to a remodel at that point, because we had like the wall, we knew where the walls were, and we knew where the existing drains were.
Right.
And it was like, how little can we move?
Right. It's like, we can't go into every wall anymore, but we can do certain things.
Yeah, and like the electrical's already in, and we don't really want to move the electrical and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we came up with a couple different options, and they were running me through the options. I was up here with them for an afternoon, and then Lily came home and
can insert the clip of me learning that I don't get a...
So I ran through all the options with Lily, and we will just insert that clip right here. Even if we ignore that, the bathtub's going to come out to like here. The toilet, if we did like normal toilet, will come out to like here, which leaves like
no room.
How do you walk into the shower? And then if you want to do shower walls, now you need a door somehow, or maybe you don't do a door and you just do glass. But like you're not going to walk in between the two. So we could like move this wall back that way and like move the bookcases.
They just
I know, right?
those.
We could like take this wall and move it that way.
But that already has the thing.
It already has all this piping and plumbing and blah blah blah. But
Let's move the outside wall out.
move that was Vitaly's suggestion. He was like, why can't we just go that direction? Also, keep in mind, in order to get the shower drain in the way we want to do it, where it's not a pan,
Yeah.
it already has to cut out this plywood floor. So like, there's already a bunch of cutting into the floor already.
Okay.
But we started talking about how can we reconfigure the bathroom.
Do it as a wet room?
We could do it as a wet room, but it can only be a wet room up to like here because this stuff is not, you can't waterproof that stuff. So we could make a wet room up to basically here.
What if we did a wet room here? Just the,
I don't think you can
just
do it with
the
a
shower
window.
and the...
I don't think you can do it with a window either. But we have some space for that. There's also the option of, so right now this is the toilet. We could move the toilet to that corner, match up against that wall, shift the bathtub this way, and make this corner the shower. And then kind of have like bathtub next to the shower.
Involves replumbing.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be replumbing no matter what we do.
I would cry.
Can we get a smaller bathtub?
We couldn't find one, I thought.
I wasn't stoked about this, but it was clear that options were not going to exist. So after I came home from work the next day, we just essentially lost our entire... we lost roughly a whole day to researching every possible bathtub, toilet, shower combo. And one of the things we kind of discovered is that there are now narrow Japanese-style soaking tubs, which we had not found at the time that we originally looked for a bathtub.
But what's actually interesting is that again, each of these individual things wasn't necessarily the problem. It was just trying to put them all in the same space. So technically there is enough room for the clawfoot tub there. The key thing that we did was to move the toilet. That's what opens this up. So because that back wall, we didn't have a vanity picked out at all, so we didn't really know how long it was going to be. If we get a not very big vanity, then between the vanity and the bathtub, we can get 30 inches for the toilet, because the toilet needs 30 inches.
Yeah.
And that does mean that the bathtub size is limited because it can't be super wide because there's a wall there. And I think the clawfoot tub might be exactly the size, and then this Japanese soaking tub we found is a little bit smaller, so there'll be a little bit more wiggle.
Well, and the big thing too is that there's room to get into the bathtub from the front as well.
So
there's just visually more space.
It's definitely a lot better for this space. So, but moving the toilet over there means that this whole space is opened up for the shower. So instead of a shower that's corner with a corner door, this entire back part of the room is the shower now. And I'm actually really excited about that, because now it's going to be like a spacious shower instead of a little tiny one.
I will say we have a pretty tiny shower now, and it's not bad,
It's
but
fine.
but considering how many other things we're doing in this house, it's going to be nice to have kind of a shower that is a little more...
Yeah.
It's going to be easier to clean too, I think.
Yeah, totally. It's just a lot more room in here. So I spent the whole weekend redrawing this bathroom from scratch, because everything was different now, including this wall, which was previously based on the height of the tub, which was shorter, and now it's for a taller tub. This space got longer because the shower used to be that big, now it's this big. So thankfully they hadn't actually built the wall yet, but I redid all the drawings, gave them new drawings for that wall. Figured out that we're going to do that one piece of glass for the shower and no door. It's just going to be open concept.
I'm not entirely sure about that.
We technically could change that later, because it is just a door that gets glued in to the inside of the room. I don't want to change it later. I hope it works. But spent a lot of time digging through all of the catalogs for all the fixtures to find new fixtures, because now that there's more shower room, we can actually move we're going to move the fixtures. They used to all be here because it was a corner shower, but now they're going to be over here on this wall. And once I did all these drawings and gave them to the crew, they just came in and tore up the room, and it's done. And now it's fine.
Oh yeah, because this is done.
Well,
done.
done. The frame. Now it's back to before this whole incident of the drains are in the right spot, the plumbing's in the wall. We were able to get power for the toilet because there was an outlet already on that wall, thankfully. So they just ran a short cord for that.
We've now meant that our vanity is shrinking by about our available vanity space, because we actually would really struggle to find a vanity. Our available vanity space has shrunk by like 20 inches roughly from what we originally had.
We could have gone like up to 60 inches or something.
Yeah.
Like full double sink if we wanted to. We weren't sold on that, but could have done that. Now it's 39 inches tops is our max.
Which is what we found.
Yeah, we did find a 39.
We found a 39 one. We also wanted to do floating. If the bathroom is going to have this much stuff in it, we kind of decided we would maybe want to do floating just so visually it would be a little less weighed down and easier to clean.
Yeah.
The bathtub, it will be easier to clean because it's no longer a clawfoot.
Yeah.
We went really back and forth. In addition to reorganizing stuff, it was like the choice of like, do we go for kind of the weird bathtub choice? Also, like, this bathtub is only available from a semi-sketchy website. Many people have gotten stuff off this website, including our contractor. So
it's just one of those sites that, like, when you visit it, the little spin the wheel to choose your
everything's
coupon.
Constantly on sale.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, and you're like never quite sure if it's going to show up looking like the pictures. It's like the Temu of home organization stuff. But they sell like way higher ticket items than Temu. It is the only place that has this soaking tub, and it is pricey. It is even more pricey than the clawfoot that we had originally looked at. It isn't out of the range of what we were. I mean, I think to make things work, we were willing to consider. We have found bathtubs that were just more than we were willing to spend, but it was only a couple $100 more, which is in the scale of a project like this. Ugh.
We already spent a couple $100 on them tearing up the floor. So okay, the one
Doesn't
thing
count. It's sunk cost.
Yeah, sunk cost. The one thing that I am a little bit disappointed about is the drain for the shower.
Yeah.
For a moment, it looked like we were going to be able to get the linear drain, which it just looks better in my opinion.
And it's easier to clean.
Yeah, and the way those work is it's like a pan that you can buy, and it's the base for it's all going to get tiled over, but there's like a pan that goes down first that forms the slope that they need for the drainage, and then the tile follows that slope, and that also contains like the drain part, and they come in a bunch of different sizes, and you can cut them down if you need to also to get them to fit. So for the one that we found for this size, it's 3 feet this way and it's like 5 something that way, maybe slightly less than 5 feet. Anyway, that pan, the trick is that there's a minimum required slope for shower drains, and the slope is based on, of course, like what distance are you covering. So if we were going to make the line on that side, we would need more slope to get that way. If we were going to make the line on this side, we would need less slope because it's less linear distance. And it turns out that the slope that we need even for the short direction here is 2 inches, and there is not 2 inches to play with here. There's 3/4 inch plywood on top of these pieces of wood, and then there's going to be a ½ inch or so of tile, which is not 2 inches. So they were like, we could ask the engineers if it's okay to cut into these joists and shave a ½ inch off of them to be able to drop it. And I was like, hold on, did you say ask the engineers? Because ask the engineers means go to the architect,
then
go to the engineers, get on their list. They're going to wait probably 3 or 4 weeks to respond after they do all the math on it to say yes or no, and the answer might be no. And I think that might also require like city to review it because it's changing the structure of the building, not just the interior. And I was like, nope. That's not worth it. We're not gonna.
Which is why this is closer, this bathroom, despite never having been finished, is somehow weirdly closer to a remodel than it is to a...
Right, exactly.
It's the first space, I feel like, where things have changed enough that it actually feels closer to a remodel. Which, the reason this is significant to me is because when we started this project, I really sorely... I could only keep finding resources for people doing remodels because stuff that's targeted at people that are not professionals is not for whole house builds, which
right.
Makes logical sense. This isn't terribly normal.
Yeah.
But I was really frustrated because I'd only ever find stuff that'd be like, consider the character of your home.
Yeah.
Work around the beams you have. And I'd be like, it's nothing.
There's no
nothing
beams.
there. So, yeah.
But yeah, so moral of the story is no linear drain because we didn't want to touch the joists. We have a regular drain in the middle of the shower because putting it in the middle means there's even less slope that we need, and then we can do the drain properly that way. It'll be fine, just not quite. It turns out that if you want a linear drain, you have to actually plan ahead for it, like way ahead.
Yeah.
So this would have been like planning for it when they were drawing the plans for the floor joists.
Which we knew we wanted a linear drain back then, but we didn't know. Here we
Actually.
go. What we didn't know we needed to know.
I am actually not even sure if... I think that we decided the linear drain long after the plans were in progress.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
Because the plans were in progress before you even started talking about
The bathroom.
the bathroom. Like before, you weren't even sure that this was a real project
Yeah.
for a long time. And that's how long ago I think we needed to plan for it.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Probably could have done it by the time the engineers had the plans again.
Probably could have,
Yeah.
if we had known at that point, we could have had
Yeah.
them, when they were doing the actual final drawings for it,
Yeah.
changed it at that point. Yeah.
What's the word of the week?
Word of the week? Bathtub?
I think it's soaking tub.
Soaking tub.
Because, we were
Yeah.
very specifically looking for a soaking tub.
Yeah. Who's late this week?
I guess us. I mean, we were really the problem here. And my insistence on having a bathtub.
Yeah, I guess. But hey, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a nice room now. I'm happy. I'm excited for it.
I just hope that bathtub that we ordered, that this whole plan is centered around.
Hope it actually exists.
I hope it actually exists and actually shows up.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can get an occupancy permit until it arrives.
That's very likely true.
Yeah, so I really think we probably need it to show up.
One last detail of this actually, which is not yet done, you might notice the pipes dangling from the wall there. We need to actually choose the location of all the bathroom faucets. Since we redid what those are going to be, now they're going to be like a separate knob for the bathtub filler, a separate knob for the wand for the bathtub. So we need to actually choose those. And I wanted to, now that we actually have the wall there, we can get a better idea of what it'll feel like based on the locations for that. So that's the last detail to draw. And other than that, yeah.
Until next time,
Till next time.
don't build a triplex.